Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we'll be doing another 2-round mock draft. This is with some changes. Big change, Miami Dolphins get the 30th pick. So we're going to do a post-Miami Dolphins trade thing and see what they need later on. But I was just going to do this regularly because I always do mock drafts on Wednesday. To start off, usually, Fernando Mendoza is the easiest pick. I mean, it's just like, if you look at the trends, man, like, obviously for the right reason, it's 97.2%. Because there's just no way I see Fernando Mendoza going like not number one overall. If I do, I'll be actually shell shocked. And I don't see NFL draft. There's not any guarantees. I think this is the most guaranteed pick in the entire draft. Maybe the entire couple drafts the last couple years. It's really crazy. Maybe it's like Cam Ward or all that. But 2024, there was many guys who could have gone a number one overall. This is probably the most surefire number one pick I've seen in the last couple of years. So a lot of interesting areas. Fernando Mendoza will be awesome for his team. I think they need a quarterback. Let's just not talk about this too much. I like this pick a lot for them. The Jets, again, I always go with this too. Jets to go Albert Reese. It fits the schematic system the best. I think it makes the most sense for this team because, again, Albert Reese is a 3-4 linebacker who played off-ball and edge. I think Aaron Glenn runs a 3-4 scheme. It would be awesome for this team to get someone like Albert Reese who would be an amazing complement to this team. They got rid of some of the edge rushers, most notably Jermaine Johnson. Will McDonald has not been the guy who drafted him. He drafted him like 16 overall or like the mid teens. That's going to be a real interesting area to see what he does after. Albert Reese can immediately provide that spot, and they're paying a lot of money to guys that aren't really making edge one money. They're making more depth or edge 2, edge 3 money, which is kind of clearing room for Albert Reese eventually because he's going to, I know he's not going to be on a rookie scale deal, but you're also going to need to clear cap space for him. So, again, easy pick, especially how much capital the Jets have, because they have pick 16, they have pick 33, and they have pick 44. So there's a lot of cap space that's needed for this team because if they have a lot of capital, they have 3 first-round picks next year. Jesus, I mean, come on. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to talk about, but I think Albert Reese is a perfect fit schematically. So there's news for the Cardinals that the Josh Sweat thing was a smokescreen or was some sort of false narrative. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment on that until I officially see that Schefter and Ian Garoppolo or Ian Rappaport are all saying, yeah, he officially requested a trade, because I didn't really see that from any of those guys. So before I say, oh, they're gonna go edge here, which is definitely a real plausibility, I think before that we should still continue mocking Maui Noah. I had this last time, my last mock draft with the trades, round 1 mock draft. I said that Francis Maui Noah might not go here now because of Josh Sweat. That's looking more and more unlikely because Josh Sweat, you don't know if he's officially requested one. I think might have been miscommunication. I don't know what happened, but apparently it's not real. I don't know, but I think Maui Noah makes the most sense here, regardless. Even if Joshua does request a trade, and I know it's a big step, but at the same time, right, Maui Noah is also as good as some of these other guys. So it's not the best tackle class in the world. I don't think Maui Noah is going to be the best tackle ever. I'm not tremendously high on him as a just in general. I'm not considering him a generational prospect. And usually, if you take a tackle at 3, you see like guys like Andrew Thomas getting taken at 4, who it's just a really solid tackle, and he was known as a generational tackle. I don't know generational, but a really good tackle. Francis Maui Noah, I think, can be in that same similar realm. He's not generational, but he's damn well good, and I think this team could really use it. We're gonna go Jeremiah Love for the Tennessee Titans. Again, another good pick. I think this makes so much sense for this team. Jeremiah Love, one cut ability. Brian Daboll and Robert Saleh have been around great running backs their entire careers. Whether it be head coaching with Saleh and Daboll, with Saquon Barkley and Breece Hall, and Saleh even as a defensive coordinator with Christian McCaffrey being around that general area. So I think they would value a running back here. Regardless, I think the edge is also in play. I don't think I feel any confidence taking a guard like Spencer Fano this high. People were mocking that really early on in the year, but I don't think so anymore. I think Jeremiah Love goes here. I think that makes the most sense, and we a pretty good 1-2 punch with Tony Pollard. Giants take Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. It makes another easy pick for me. I think Sonny Styles is really good. He's really solid in between the tackles. You don't usually see linebackers go this high. You don't usually see them go this quickly either. You see them. I think the last one was Devin White at pick 5 or 4 from LSU to the Bucks, so this team really needed it. So you don't really see these type of guys. I think Sonny Styles is definitely worth a 5th round pick though, because he was just so solid at Ohio State, and then the combine reassured it, and maybe even rose his draft stock higher. It's crazy to talk about because Sonny Styles, for me, he was always falling even before the combine and some of these other Ohio State games. He was always falling to the 15 area for me. I think 15 would have been a no-brainer pick for the Bucks. Now I consistently have him in the top 8, which is really like, it's a testament of how well he's doing. And he doesn't have the greatest coverage skills in the world. I think there's a little to be desired there, but again, he's an ex safety. He has the speed to be a real good cover. There's a lot of upside with him, and he's also already a pretty crisp prospect on route. So I honestly, this makes the most sense for me. With the Browns, I usually go Monroe Freeling, but you don't know how well he'll play in this concept, and I want to go something different. I'm gonna go Carnell Tate here. I think Carnell Tate also makes a good amount of sense here as well. Carnell Tate, again, there's people concerned about him being a real 1A. People call him a 1B or a 2A or whatever. I think that's interesting area. I think Carnell Tate's really good. I watched a bunch of receivers. I think I watched Boston, Concepcion, Lemon, Tyson, Tate. Those guys, and Omar Cooper Jr. Those guys are all first-round receivers in my opinion. Maybe beside Boston, I have a really early day 2 pick. I think I was most impressed. I think McCallum has fallen a little bit for me because again, there's not much explosiveness. I think Carnell Tate was probably one of my favorite receivers I watched. Other than maybe Tyson, I think Tate was probably my favorite. I think Tate's my wide receiver 1 right now, mainly because he doesn't have blown away speed. He ran at 4.58 at the combine, but he has crazy good strength for his size. He has tremendous route running. There was countless clips of him burning these DBs, or even when the ball was thrown to him, he was still getting good separation. It's really good separation, really good footwork. I like it, and he's really solid at the catch point. I think it's a really good fit for this team. They could really use someone like Carnell Tate and keep him in state. Let's go with the Commanders. I haven't had this going a lot. I have Caleb Downs going here. I think Caleb Downs with sometimes with the degenerative ACL could be a little interesting, but I think I'm gonna go Caleb Downs here. I think I like Caleb Downs here a lot for this team. Again, you're building that safety system. Caleb Downs is just a prolific tackler. He's gonna be a leader for this team, and they're gonna need him. They're really gonna need him, and this team has a really old mindset. I think wide receivers also in play, but how the board has fallen, you can definitely go McCallum or Jordan Tyson, because other than Terry McLaurin, there just really isn't anybody. I mean, it's bad. So wide receivers in play, but this wide receiver class is also deeper than the safety class. The drop off is way less. You can get someone like a Bryce Lance or a Deion Brooks, Ted Hurst later down these later rounds versus safety. If you pass up on Dylan Thielen, you're not going to get. If you pass up on Caleb Downs, you're not going to get Caleb Downs, Dylan Thielen, Mick Warren. AJ Halsey's a high floor player. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of Kamari Ramsey. Genesis Smith is incredibly raw. Doesn't have good tackling skills. Zaki Wheatley is a 3rd round pick. You can maybe take him in the 3rd round, but do you want to build him now? I think it would be an instant impact player for the Commanders. I think it would be an interesting area to talk about, but I think I love Caleb Downs' this team. Saints, there's a lot of areas they can go here too. The top edge rushers, the premier edge rushers here are still there. The top 3 guys. Two of the top 3 guys are here. I'm going to go Ruben Bain Jr. There's production there. There's 3 down lineman ability already in the NFL versus David Bailey, who has a little concerning there. I think Ruben Bain, other than maybe the ankle problems, the ankle mobility, and possibly the arm length, he's just all around solid prospect. And people have had him going number 2 overall before they found out about his arm length. I think I have him falling because of his arm length, but I still think the production is undeniable, and he's still going to be an awesome player in this league. This team really needs an edge as well. I actually really like this pick for them. I mean, there's no real if and buts about it. All right, with the Chiefs, there's areas they can go here as well. Mansour is 100% play. It kind of fits that Spags scheme. I think Avon Troy also fits that Spags scheme as well, but he's not going to go number 9. If you're going to take Avon Troy, you can take him at 29. And there's concerns of him actually falling there, so I don't know if he will. So you might take your guy here. I've got Mansour a lot here recently. I'm gonna go David Bailey. Actually no. We're gonna wait. Tackle might be in play, but I don't know. I'm not a gigantic fan. We're gonna go Mansour. I'm not a huge fan of how this board's falling. I don't think David Bailey is a little bit too much of a project for me. I'm going to take Mansour Delane out of here. I think Delane, again, fits that Spags scheme. A little bit of an undersized guy, but the tape is awesome. He allowed 50 catches at LSU, a big SEC school, going against one of the best players in college football. It's like he's some G5 school, non-G5 school, which is like really bad, and he's only allowing 15 catches. There's production in these better schemes, in these better conferences, which is really good. And I think Mansour will fit this team perfectly. Honestly, I like it. I think Spags gets his corner of the future, especially with Louis McDuffie and Watson to the Rams. Bengals are on the clock. We're gonna go David Bailey here. They get their Trey Hendrickson replacement. Edge is really important. This team can get instant production and pass rushing. I wasn't a big fan of David Bailey. I also watched Ruben Bain, Arvid Reese, and David Bailey too. I think the other couple of days. Again, I'm not a huge, gigantic fan of David Bailey. I think there's still some issues. I'm not really sold on his strength yet. There is some flashes of good strength. I'm just not sold yet. And it's a little inconsistent with his bend, but his speed rushing is deniable. He can make plays. He can jump high. He's really good. He's honestly a really solid prospect. It's just there's some things I'm still not sold on yet. So I like David Bailey. I think I could want a little bit more from his strength wise and bend wise. We're going to go with the Dolphins. The Dolphins also need a lot of things as well. I think wide receivers 100% play. I'm going to go Jordan Tyson here. I think Jordan Tyson will provide an instant number 1 receiver type area. There is concerns with his injury, but this team literally has Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert as their best guys in the wide receiver room. No, and Tutu Atwell, no. Like, whoa, like Tutu Atwell is going to save this wide receiver core. No, no way in hell. This is really bad. Malik Willis won't really get the production and the weapons he was hoping for to see if he's actually good enough to you want to skip on a quarterback entirely. That's gonna be a real issue because it's gonna be hard evaluating him and seeing, oh wait, maybe this wasn't overpay. People are gonna start ripping his head off. Get him some help, and especially with the number 30 pick, we can get another corner later or another defensive back later. I think that's definitely in play. I think this team might just take wide receiver here now because again, the wide receiver board after these top three, it can fall off, and you don't know if Omar Cooper Jr. or even Casey Concepcion falls. And I don't think Casey Concepcion is a fit for this team. I think they need a little bit more of a dominant wide receiver one. Maybe you go Denzel Boston, but again, a lot of interesting moving parts. I think Jordan Tyson fits the best for this team. The Cowboys, they will run to the podium. They're going to get Dylan Thielen, safety out of Oregon. I think Dylan Thielen, the combine has really just really rose to stock for me. I think he was awesome. I have him as a top 10 player in this class. It's just really awesome. I just think that he's super fluid. His turnover skills, his run stopping ability, all of it's just so good. It's all just fire. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, in my personal opinion, this is probably one of the best picks. And they need safety help. They didn't really address safety that much. I think safety could work a lot. I think corner, they can wait a little bit. They can maybe get someone like an Avion Tremella or Jamad McCoy and take a chance on those two guys. I think Dylan Thielen would work perfectly well for this team. I really like it. The Rams, I think Marlon Fruling's in play. I think Mekhi Lemon's also in play. I've strayed away from Mekhi Lemon recently to the Rams. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna go back to Mekhi Lemon. I think Mekhi Lemon will go here. I think Mekhi Lemon again will be an awesome fit for this team. Slot guy, he'll be a good contrast to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Good slot guy. I did say I had reevaluated some of my wide receivers. Mekhi Lemon has fallen to my wide receiver 2. I think Jordan Tyson is my wide receiver 3, and then Conte is my wide receiver 1. Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lemon are like marginal differences. Like, I wouldn't be mad if you took one over the other, right? So Mekhi Lemon is really good. He has so much versatility. That's why I'm kind of higher, and also the catch radius and all that stuff. All that stuff matters to me versus Jordan Tyson, who just isn't available to, which really bumped him down for me because Jordan Tyson's really good, make a bunch of acrobatic crashes. His speed isn't the best. Same with Mekhi Lemon. They both don't have breakaway speed. Separation for Jordan Tyson, I found a little bit less than Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon has a little more versatility, and Mekhi Lemon is damn good for catching the ball in his catch point for how small he is. I mean, really is. And he gets up there, and it's different if he goes up there and drops the ball. He catches the ball like every single time. There's a 2% drop rate in college. It's crazy. Like, you don't see this type of guy. That's my biggest point for him. I think that makes the most sense for me. The Ravens, I'm gonna go Spencer Fano here. I think Spencer Fano. I like Spencer Fano. It's kind of that Andrew Voorhees situation where they can swing a guard and tackle. I'm gonna start stealing that from people because I heard people talk about that. I'm gonna start stealing that. It's a real issue. I mean, this team could. You're probably not gonna draft him from center. I think he'll probably play guard, but he can't play. He has a center flexibility. He has his tackle flexibility. It's just his arms a little short, but regardless, there's flexibility. He can play whatever you want him to. He has decent strength. He just moves really well laterally. I think it will be an awesome fit for this team. The Bucks, Keon Sadiq is right here. I think that's great. I've gone to Keem Messidor a lot too. C.J. Allen's in play. I'm just not a gigantic fan of that. I mean, it's another high-floor linebacker, but I'm going to go with C.J. Allen here. The linebacker does need help. I know this linebacker class is pretty deep, but C.J. Allen, again, he's a high-floor player. Todd Bowles will probably want an instant impact player. I think C.J. Allen can't be that. He's really good in between the tackles to read between the gaps and get to the running back or even the quarterback if he's blitzing. It's just the problem is his coverage a little bit on these smaller guys, which is a real issue. But other than that, I think I like him a lot. If not, this might be a little bit of a reach, but I think this team needs a linebacker regardless. So I'm going to go C.J. Allen here. The Jets. Wide receivers are definitely in play. Edge is also in play. Guard's also in play. I'm going to go guard, though. I'm going to go guard Vega Ione out of Penn State. I like Vega here a lot. I think Vega is just an awesome pick. I want to see the trends. Wow, he's not even getting mocked to the Jets. I have him to the Jets a lot. I think him going to the Jets would be a pretty good fit. I mean, there's no guard. They lost Johnson and AVT. They're going to need a guard here. They really are. And that's going to be a real issue. This team could really use a guard. I think this team, again, really uses a guard. And, yeah, it's another high-flow player. Only five pressures allowed in Penn State. No sacks. We're going to go with the Lions. The Lions take Monter Feeling makes the most sense. They have a tackle retiring. You probably move Penei Sewell to the right tackle side and just continue developing Monter Feeling. I know Monter Feeling has little issues of his actual production. Not like real production, but it's just like production of like, okay, how well will he do in the NFL with his lack of experience? And that's going to be a really interesting area to talk about. This team can probably use a left tackle, though. I think with how much they've lost in with the retirements and stuff, Monter Feeling is a real option. I think if they get Monter Feeling, I think it's another run to the podium type pick. another easy pick. I mock Monroe Freeling to the Lions a lot. The Vikings, there's a lot of interesting areas they can go here as well. I think with the Vikings, I think defensive interior is 100% play. I think I like Kaden McDonald here. I also like Peter Woods here too. I don't think Caleb Banks is the number one player after his broken foot injury. It seems redundant. I'm gonna go Peter Woods. I think Peter Woods makes the most sense here. The thing with Peter Woods is that I think that, again, he hasn't had the production that he did in his previous years. But again, that's going to be an interesting area to talk about because I think this team could use Peter Woods. They lost a lot of defensive interiors. They lost their 2 defensive tackles in free agency. They don't have a real solution for that right now. Peter Woods will provide a high upside, but as well as also bringing some production. And I just saw this. I've said this for the last couple of weeks. I've said that Peter Woods and that Clemson defense, they're literally avoiding that front. Capehart, Peter Woods, TJ Parker, they're all avoiding those guys because their time of throws for the average quarterbacks was like down. It was down. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm not gonna act like I know the exact numbers, but it was down from other teams. Because they're getting the ball out quickly, because they're that scared of the defensive front. Obviously, the numbers are going to be deflated. That makes the most sense to me. I've said this from the start. People are going to start game playing around these type of guys. That's the real issue. So, taking Peter Woods here is not a bad idea. And regardless if the numbers are down, he's still a good player. And people don't understand that. People are saying he's not a first-round pick. You're wild. You're literally wild. I mean, PFF has him ranked up 33, meaning he's not a 32, not a ranked high on the big board. He's not a high-ranked player. That makes no sense to me. That just makes no sense to me. I think that he's just a great player. We were talking about him going top 5 last year. That's how good he was. And just because colleges are game planning around him and college offenses are game planning around him, and he's not, maybe there's a little bit lack of production. I don't think it's that detrimental. I really don't. And I think people are overreacting. Panthers, I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq. This makes the most sense to me. I think Kenyon makes 100% the most sense. I think Kenyon would, in this offense, would do awesome. I know they think highly of some of the tight ends. But again, Tommy Tremble, I don't know the rest of them. Tommy Tremble, Mitch Evans, I'm not really high on them. I really not. And I think Kenyon Sadiq will provide good outside ability. He's not the greatest blocker, but you can develop him. There's, like I said, there's little effort. There's effort for him blocking. So he's not gonna be the prototypical blocker you want, but again, you're playing him for his athleticism and speed. I don't hold him obviously as the high regards as they did Brock Bowers or even Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren when they came out. But again, I like him a lot. And I think he'll be awesome for this team. Cowboys, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think McNaughton is in play, but they also stick to Dylan Thiemann, so probably not. Linebacker is also in play, but I don't think they're going to reach front. I think corner is a gigantic need. Jamal McCoy is sitting right here. Avion Terrell is sitting right here. I think Brandon Cisse can also be an option. Colton Hood. It just depends on your preference. I'm going to go Avion Terrell, though. I think without the injury concerns, I think Jamal McCoy would be an easy top 10 pick lock, but he's not. And he does have the injury concerns. So taking Avion Terrell here, a smaller type corner, who plays bigger than he really is. He plays really big, really feisty with the ball. I think he'll be awesome for this team, and that needs a real cornerback one. And good contrast to Deron Bland, who I do not think is a cornerback one. Steelers, Steel City goes with another wide receiver here. I'm going to go Omar Cooper Jr., play him in the slot next to them. I know they don't really have a wide receiver needed for this team, but again, I think they're going to load up on the offensive talent in this area. I usually go Omar Cooper Jr. here a lot because I just think it makes the most sense for me, because Omar Cooper Jr. can literally play whatever. He has great contact balance. Would be a good contrast to DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr., which versus a couple weeks ago, before they got Michael Pittman Jr., I was mocking Denzel Boston. And I think Denzel Boston would be too redundant of a pick to this team. So I think taking Omar Cooper Jr. is not a bad pick at all. The Chargers, I'm going to go with the wide receiver here too. I think there's some areas they can go here. I think Denzel Boston, maybe Casey Concepcion. I don't know why I said I'm going to go with the wide receiver. There's areas they can go. I think corner is also another interesting area they can go as well. They've lost some guys. Guard also. I think you can move Caden Proctor to guard. I'm Pregnon's a little bit too much of a reach. Caleb Bloom was in a bad pick here. Lee Hunter also is a bad pick, but again, I think K. McDonald makes the most sense for this team because, again, it's another run-stopping defensive interior. I think you maybe get a guard later on in this draft class. So I think K. McDonald makes the most sense. It's another literal rush-stopping guy. Like, again, it's just another rushing guy I think could really be useful for this team. Makes the most sense to me. I like it a lot. The Eagles, I know with the recent signing of Tariq Woolen, I don't think I'm going to have him going corner today. I'm going to have him going edge here. I think Akeem Esoro provided instant production. I think this team could use someone like Akeem Esoro who can get to the quarterback. There is injury concern, but I guess, he hasn't had the injury concern the last couple of years. So why are you really concerned about him getting injured? That's when he got injured, it was because when he was playing defensive interior in some of these other schemes. So I think taking Akeem here is not a bad idea regardless. I think taking Akeem, again, he does have the injury. He's an older prospect. He's 25. He's going to be 25. But that's not going to stop him from instant production. This team isn't building for youth, right? It's not like some of these other teams that are restarting fresh. They're building for youth. And or they're building to win now because they have a lot of team needs. So I think taking Akeem makes the most sense here. I'd also say wide receivers that play Denzel Boston can maybe fulfill that AJ Brown role, or Casey Concepcion could be a good contrast to Devontae Smith. So I think that's definitely an interesting area. If they end up getting rid of AJ Brown, which I've heard they're taking calls, but yeah, regardless, I think they go Akeem here. Maybe take a wide receiver later on in the draft. Maybe again, Ted Hurst would be an Eagles type pick. With the Browns, they need a tackle here. I think I had him take Carl Tate, so I'm gonna go Blake Miller here. I think Blake Miller makes a lot of sense. For me, it's either gonna be Blake Miller and Carl Tate, or Monroe Freeling and Casey Concepcion in the first round. It makes the most sense. Blake Miller, again, really battle tested. He had a lot of snaps at Clemson. Be an awesome fit for this team. They need a left side blocker. He's a left side blocker. I mean, him, Proctor, and Monroe Freeling are the 3 left tackles, and it's a big premier position because that's usually the blind side. Depends on the quarterback. Dylan Gabriel those left-handed, so that won't be the blind side. But if Shedeur starts, or whoever starts in the right-handed, would be a good contrast. He's not the highest floor or highest ceiling guy ever. I think he's more of an NFL ready now. He'll probably be an average to maybe, I think, a ceiling's an above average guard. I don't think he'll ever be an All-Pro or a Pro Bowler. I think he might be a Pro Bowler, but he'll never be an All-Pro. So I think taking Blake Miller here is not a bad idea. The Bears, after losing a lot of guys, Shaquan Brisker, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think Emmanuel Moore makes some sense. Not the biggest athlete in the world, but he's a damn good player. And I think Emmanuel Warren didn't wow us in the combine, but he just, again, a real solid player, big hitter. He said he wanted to hit Derrick Henry. By all means, go for it, bro. I mean, if you have that confidence, I trust you. You're a dog, bro. Deadass. If you think you can hit Derrick Henry, love it. Love the pick. I think I'm gonna go with Emmanuel Warren here, especially get more youth in that secondary. And honestly, for this team too, with how big the drop off is after AJ Halsey, who's the second round player in my eyes, Kamari Ramsey, Genesis Misaki, Wheatley, Bud Clark. These are all round 3 to round 4 guys. Like it gets interesting there. I don't say that like Harley. Like it really gets interesting there. So we're going to go Emmanuel Warren, mainly because the drop-off, too, of the safety class. Teams sometimes reach for those picks. With the Bills, there's guard is 100% play. I haven't taken a guard recently, but guard is in play. Caleb Lomu, Emmanuel Pregnon, Chase Pasantes. I'm not a huge fan of Chase Pasantes. I don't think he's a first-round player, so I'm going to stray away from that. I think linebacker is also in play. I like a linebacker here. I really like Jacob Rodriguez. Don't tempt me. Corner is also in play. They do need secondary. I don't hate a corner pick here, maybe develop Jamal McCoy into being a number 1 corner. I'm going to go Jamal McCoy here. Again, I like Jamal McCoy. I think he's just, other than the ACL injury and the mutual agreement that he won't participate in the combine and his pro days and all that, or even in the season, because there was rumors that he was ready at the start of the season. There's a lot of interesting areas there, but I think regardless, the team was really good in 2024. It's just, again, the ACL injuries, but people bounce back from ACL injuries. As much as you like to hate on it, people bounce back, so I think this is a pretty good fit for this team. 49ers, Caden Proctor goes here, really raw tackle. I think he'll be awesome for this team. Again, they really need it, so I think taking Caden Proctor here is a really solid option for this team. He plays left tackle, can play a good passing the torch moment from Trent Williams down to Caden Proctor. I think this makes the most sense for this team, and I like it a lot. But the Texans, I'm going to go in defensive interior here. The board has not fallen that badly. Caleb Banks is, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to go Christian Miller. Christian Miller, again, I think is a high floor player, but he's also very raw. So I think you can definitely develop him into a better guy, but I think this team could really use someone like Christian Miller. I like it a lot for them. I just think this makes so much sense for me. So we're going to go Christian Miller here. I don't think I feel comfortable taking a guard. I think you could probably get someone like Chase Pasantes, Caleb Lomu, or Emmanuel Pregnon later down, or even maybe reach for Jennings Dunker, move to guard. I really like Kenny Relish too. He moves so strong for his size. I mean, it's awesome. So there's a lot of areas here. I think Christian Miller makes the most sense. I don't know. You take your defensive interior here. With the Chiefs, I'm going to go T.J. Parker. I think this makes the most sense for me. I think T.J. Parker would be an awesome player. Kind of fits the Spags roles, I think. And he's not the most astounding player. He's not the best at everything, but he's not the worst at everything. He's just an overall solid prospect. You know why you at the combine? He didn't disappoint you. Again, that's the story. And it is a little bit of a down year, like all Clemson players. But again, he was just again really good prospect. I think he'll be pretty good for this team. The 30th pick, the new guys on the board, the Miami Dolphins, with Jordan Tyson gone. I'm going to need a corner here. I really am. And corner or safety. And the safety has not fallen well. Keith Abney, not D'Angelo Pons, Brandon Cisse, and Colton Hood would not be a bad idea. I think Colton Hood makes the most sense. I think Colton Hood, again, corner. I think he, again, fell because of his bad Senior Bowl. But Combine kind of brought us back to earth and said, okay, maybe this guy could be a first-round player. I think he can be. But I think this is more of his range now than before, because I was mocking him at the 20s. So I'm going to go with Colton Hood here. another schematic fit. I think Jeff Hadley would like Colton Hood, a new type of corner he can work with. Pats are on the board. I'm gonna go Maxi Nacho. You develop him under that area. I don't think he's a real first round player, but again, he's playing so solid for how little he's played football, and I think for this production, it's not been a bad area to pick him at. I think it's a little bit more of a developmental tackle. I mean, again, he hasn't been playing football for so long. He just recently moved to the LA area at age 13. So it's going to be another interesting area. But I think Maxi Nacho can be amazing for this team. I think another development tackle. You don't have to start him immediately. Not a bad pick for the Seahawks. A lot of people have been mocking Jadarian Price. I've seen it in one of my mock drafts I've reviewed. I just hate it, and I don't think it makes sense. We're gonna go. There's a lot of areas we can go here. I think defensive back is 100% in play. You would have loved a man Anthony Warren. Brand Cisse isn't bad. Chris Johnson isn't bad either. You did get Josh Jobe on a friendly contract. I'm going to go for that Boye Mafe replacement. I'm going to go Keldrick Folk, eventually developing into a stud. I think he's more of a developmental project. That's why I absolutely hate him at pick 15, because Todd Bowles is trying to save his job right now. He literally is. And if you're taking Keldrick Folk, who is a developmental project and someone who you don't know, is going to be a real head scratcher for me. So they're probably going to go for someone that will save their job. So I think taking Keldrick Folk here again would be an awesome pick, because you got to develop him into being a dog, and he already has a really high run stopping upside. I think he'll be pretty good. I think people saying he's not a first round pick is a little harsh. I think he can fall, but I don't think he doesn't have the talent to be, because again, he's only 21. Like, he's crazy. He's gonna be 20 when for like a month or two when the season starts. Like, that's crazy to me. Keldrick Folk is a solid prospect, and people saying that he isn't is a little harsh. I think it's a little harsh. The Jets on the clock. They have their the guard and their edge rusher of the future. I think, again, Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston makes the most sense. I always go with the same picks. I'm going to go Casey Concepcion here, just mainly to change it up. Again, I'm going to get some contrast here. I think Casey Concepcion makes the most sense here. I think Casey Concepcion can fill that slot role, next to Adonai Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson play on the X, Adonai Mitchell play on the Z, and then slot/return man Casey Concepcion could do it all. Awesome pick. A really, really awesome pick. The only thing they're missing now is a corner, which they can take later on, because this corner class is pretty deep. The drop-off isn't as crazy. Cardinals, I'm going to go Ty Simpson. Makes the most sense. They need a quarterback. Kyler Murray is officially a Minnesota Viking, so they're going to take Ty Simpson here. I think that makes the most sense for me. Again, they maybe can take edge here. Cassius Howell, I don't think you can even consider him here. Just not a round prospect. Zion Young is maybe an interesting option here. I don't know. I think that taking Ty Simpson makes the most sense, though, because you get your quarterback of the future. I don't think he's going to start immediately. I think Brissett should start, and then just start him next year with a better roster around him. I think that makes the most sense for me. I think Ty Simpson would work pretty well, though. So you have your quarterback, working with your new head coach. It makes the most sense. With the Titans, I'm going to go in an area of interest here. They got Jeremiah Love. I think edge is in play. Maybe linebacker. I think I like Jacob Rodriguez here, but I don't know how solid I feel about it. We're gonna go Malin Pregnon to again bolster up that offensive line, get a good blocking for Cam Ward and Jeremiah Love. I think it'll be a good fit for this team. He's a little bit of an older prospect. He doesn't have as high as a ceiling as some of these other prospects, as well as some of these other guard prospects. But again, he's produced at USC and now Oregon, two pretty good programs, especially Oregon. No offense to USC fans, but Oregon's a better program. I think I like Pregnon here a lot for this team. Las Vegas Raiders in the play. I think Denzel Boston's 100% in there, but I'm going to start straying away from wide receiver because I don't hate that core. Defensive tier is also in play too. Cassius Howell is definitely not. Maybe take a guard. Maybe take another edge here. Max Crosby's back though, so I don't know how I feel about that. There's areas. I think defensive tier makes the most sense to me. Problem is too, I think Lee Hunter can provide instant run stopping defense. I know he didn't test that well in the combine, but he had a really good Senior Bowl, and I think that you can build off of that. I think Lee Hunter makes a lot of sense, a lot of rush stopping upside. I think it would be pretty good for the team. The Giants, with Denzel Boston on the board, it makes it really hard for them to pass up on him. I know you did take Sonny Styles earlier. This team does need wide receiver. Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin are not going to stop you from taking wide receiver. And don't let that fool you. Darius Slayton is still a New York Giant, and Isaiah Hodgins is more of a depth guy. I think that's more of a type of my guy type of pick for the New Giants organization, because I like Isaiah Hodgins. He was a 2022 New York Giants legend. It was awesome. I love seeing him. He was the wide receiver one. Like he was goated in that Minnesota Vikings game. But I think more of a depth guy, and he's more of a guy that I would probably prefer being a backup and not seeing the field if I don't need him to. So I'm gonna go down to Boston here, a guy who can be a pretty good contrast to Malik Neighbors, and Be pretty good. A little bit raw, not elite separation. Really good to catch point. Moves really fluid for his height. People don't really talk about that. He moves really fluid. His route running is pretty crisp for how big he is. So I like that a lot. With the Texans, they're not going to take Caleb Banks. I think Caleb Lomu makes a lot of sense here. I don't think they did sign Wyatt Teller, but you maybe move Caleb Lomu to a tackle position. You build off that. He's young, not the most refined prospect, but you can definitely move into that tackle area. Be pretty good for this team. With the Browns, I'm gonna go wide receiver here. I like Jeremy Bernard here a lot. I think Jeremy Bernard is on the high floor player. He's not the most greatest at everything. It really isn't, but he's really good. He's a solid prospect. He has a pretty high floor. This team is a high floor receiver and pretty solves the quarterback's issue of not having a real wide receiver there to throw to with Carlton Tate and Jeremy Bernard. Not a bad pairing. The Chiefs, I think, with how they've fallen, I think maybe double dip on defensive back. Brandon Cisse is not bad. D'Angelo Pons, I don't know. Maybe take a wide receiver here is not a bad idea either. Get all of your needs out of the way. I think Chris Bell can be a wide receiver one. That's really towards ACL, which is a big problem. I think I like Chris Bell here. And Chris Bell makes the most sense to me because, again, he has a real wide receiver one ceiling. But I think he's just an awesome player. I think I was mocking him for I think the Patriots were a perfect fit for him before he tore his ACL. That's a real problem if he did tear his ACL. But again, he's not going to play the entire year, but you don't need him to. It's more weapons for Patrick Mahomes. I think that makes the most sense for me. And with K9 too, it's not a bad offense, and I think they can really do it. And they've doubled down on defense. I think taking a wide receiver weapon is not a bad idea. And especially if he doesn't have to play right away with that decent receiving core. The Bengals, I think a linebacker is 100% in play here as well. I think I like Jacob Rodriguez here. I'm going to go Jacob Rodriguez. Not the world's most astounding athlete ever. I just think he's a solid prospect. I really like him. I think he'll be awesome for whatever team takes him. I think Jacob Rodriguez makes the most sense for me because personally, I liked him coming out of college. I really did. I think he was going to be awesome. So I'm going to take Jacob Rodriguez here. A real linebacker that shakes up your front. The Saints, I would like a wide receiver here. Maybe another linebacker with Demario Davis gone. So let's look at the board. I think Ted Hurst is 100% in play here. I like Bryce Lance. But Skyler Bell is another route running type guy. I like. Let's look at the linebacker board too. The linebacker board is not that bad. I'm gonna go Jake Galladay though. I think Jake Galladay makes the most sense. You did lose Demario Davis, but at the Saints' perspective, they can take someone else here too. They can take Ted Hurst, Malachi Fields, all those J.J. Daniels in these later type receiving roles in the third round. I think that makes sense for them. Taking Jake Galladay here too. I know the linebacker class is pretty deep. I like Aiden Fisher a lot. I don't think people are giving him a lot of highly rate praise, or even Caleb Elams or York is a little too small for me. But again, I like these linebacker class, so I think taking Jake Galladay here, good straight line speed, really good down the thumper area. I think it'll be awesome for the team. The Dolphins with taking Colton Hill and Jordan Tyson, a lot of areas they can go here too. I think they can definitely consider guard. Chase Santos isn't a bad idea. I'm gonna go Chase Santos here. I think they need more guard youth. Again, guard is just not the flashy pick here, but I think it makes the most sense for them and this team needs. Again, it makes the most sense for me. I like this pick a lot for them. I think this just makes the most sense for me. The Jets take Arva Reese, Vega Ione, and Casey Concepcion. I think a number one corner would really be due, and I think Brandon Cisse is that guy you want. Brandon Cisse will test off the charts for you. He didn't really test a lot of things in the combine, but again, he's a real physical beast. He'll be awesome, good ball hawk. A little problem with his press coverage and his physicality sometimes, but again, regardless, I like him a lot, and I think he'll be awesome for this team. The Ravens, after taking Spencer Fano, I would like a wide receiver here, maybe a linebacker. I think Bryce Lance could be that guy, though. I think I like Bryce Lance, too. I think he can eventually be a good contrast to this team's needs because he's a bigger type receiver. He'd be pretty good. I like this pick a lot for them. I know people aren't as high as him because he played on a D2 school, but I think with Lamar, I think he can use another high guy that will get up and go grab the ball, other like the other guys in that room. So I think I like that pick a lot. The Bucks, after taking C.J. Allen, I think an edge would make so much sense. I think taking Zion Young here, getting to the quarterback would make the most sense. I think I like Zion Young here too. You could probably go tight end too, but I think for the board, I don't like how Eli Stowers looks for this team. I think you maybe get a Michael Trigg, even Sam Rouge, a good blocky tight end, but it would be pretty good. They usually go for those type of guys regardless, because Zion Young will get there. Other than the DUI, I think other than that, he was just solid. He was really solid. So I think taking Zion Young here is not bad, and we'll get to the quarterback for them. And it's not a gigantic prospect or project either, so I think he'll be awesome for this team. With the Colts, I'm going to go a defensive tier. I think this is where Caleb Banks falls. I'm going to go Caleb Banks, especially with that foot injury where he was playing through it. That's just been the story of his career. I mean, it's just really how it's been. That's a real issue. It's a real issue for that. Caleb Banks is really good. He has a bunch of upside. He's really athletic gifted, moves so quickly for his size, but the problem is he gets injured all the time. That's why people have him falling in the first place. But I can see him going at 47. Mainly because, again, his injury history. If you want to take a chance on him, you can. I think this team needs a defensive interior after losing some of those guys. And linebackers also in play, but I think taking Caleb Banks here is not a bad idea. With the Falcons, there's a lot of needs too. Defensive interior board has not fallen well. I think I would have taken Caleb Banks here if I personally, if he fell, but he didn't. So we're gonna go linebacker here. I like a linebacker a lot for them. This linebacker class is good. I think Josiah Trotter would be awesome for this team. Would be a good tackling guy. I think he has pretty high upside. Not a bad player for this team. This team doesn't need a linebacker in this team. So again, Josiah Trotter, high floor player who can also a little bit younger, but I think he can provide instant rushing stop ability for this team. The Vikings after taking Peter Woods. I'm going to go safety here. I'm going to go AJ Halsey. I think this team would enjoy AJ Halsey. Another high floor player. He will turn the ball over. He has really good zone coverage, man zone coverage. I think I like his tape a lot. I think it'd be awesome for his team again. No real issues. There's just a really high floor for him, so I think taking him here is not a bad idea. With the Lions, after losing some of these guys, you can maybe get someone like an R. Mason Thomas. I know he's been getting first round buzz. I'm gonna go R. Mason Thomas. Guess the pass rusher. You don't really need him to be the best guy in the world because you already have Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. So taking someone who can get to the pass to the quarterback and the pass thrower would be a real solid pick for this team. And I know people don't really like R. Mason Thomas. I don't think he tested all that well for his combine stats. I think he ran a little slow, and that was his whole thing. He was gonna get to the quarterback, but again, there's more to football than those guys running around in their underwear, right? So taking R. Mason Thomas here is not a bad idea regardless. So I think taking R. Mason Thomas, get instant production, maybe even use him as DPR in the first couple years, and if you can develop him into a 3-down lineman, solid pick. The Panthers on the clock. They took Kenyon Sadiq. I think taking corner and getting a more youth in that area is not a bad idea. I know Mike Jackson played really well in that playoff series, but I think taking Chris Johnson here is a good zone safety. Awesome. It'd be an awesome fit for this team. He doesn't have to immediately step and be that guy, but he definitely can develop under that. He has great hands. He'd be an awesome fit for whatever team needs him. And people are having him as a first round pick. And he honestly had a really good year at STSU this year. So I like it a lot. I think this makes the most sense for me. And you can get some more corner depth. With the Packers, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think corner is 100% in play. Maybe linebacker after losing some of those guys. And edge rusher isn't bad either. I don't hate the linebacker. I think Anthony Hill Jr. can fit in that Rashawn Gary role that they wanted so badly. I just think it's a little too rich for me. I'm going to go D'Angelo Pons. Or actually, I'm going to go Keith Abney. I think that makes a lot of sense for me because he can play that smaller type role that Jair Alexander played when he was on that team. I play this role a lot, and they really need secondary, and specifically in the corner help. I like this pick a lot for them. It just makes the most sense for me. With the Steelers, there's areas they can go here as well. Taking Omar Cooper Jr. is not a bad idea. I think tackle makes a lot of sense. I really do. I think tackle could really be important. It's just the problem is who you're going to take. It's really not good. Maybe you take guard because if people have him going big, I think I'm going to go Caden Rutledge. I think Caden Rutledge is not a bad idea. I think I like Caden Rutledge a lot. I think he plays well for his strength. This team has a pretty good issue at guard too. I think definitely running back could be in play, but I don't hate the signing of the running back that they signed, so I'm not a gigantic hater of that. So thinking Caden Rutledge here is not a bad idea. The Eagles, with a corner off the board, I think you can take wide receiver. This is in case that AJ Brown leaves. I'm gonna go Antonio Williams. Wouldn't be a bad replacement for him. Would be a pretty good contrast to Devontae Smith. I think Antonio Williams is now getting the gust to win. The gust to win that really he didn't really get. I think people are starting to realize how fine he was as a prospect. So I don't hate that pick at all. He did have a down year, but in 2024 he had an awesome, tremendous year with 11 touchdowns. So I think you can, again, just like most Clemson players this year, there's a down year, but I think you can bank on the upside, and I like that pick a lot. The Chargers, they really need a guard. I really hope for a guard here. You might have to reach. I think Jennings Dunker is not a bad idea. They did sign the Commanders center. I don't hate that pick at all for them. I'm going to go Jennings Dunker and move him to guard. I think he has a little bit more guard frame. I like that pick a lot. It might be a little bit of a reach, but I think taking Jennings Dunker here is not a bad idea because again, you need a guard area. You lost Zion Johnson. Mekhi Becton was not a good fit. You just cut him. So we're going to take Jennings Dunker here to shore up that guard spot. With the Jaguars, I think the loss of Greg Newsome and some of these other guys in the secondary, I think taking D'Angelo Ponce is not a bad idea. It really isn't. I know you really just signed another cornerback. You re-sign him, but I think taking D'Angelo Ponce here again, it's not a bad idea. Just young, feisty cornerback, you can probably play in the slot would be awesome for this team. The Bears, I think Malachi Lawrence, for how well this board has fallen, I think Malachi Lawrence could 100% be in play here. I really like Malachi Lawrence here. little bit of an agile guy. He's also freakishly strong too. I think he'd be an awesome fit for our team needs edge preference. I think Malachi Lawrence would again a solid strength situation. It's not bad. It's really not a bad pick. I think this team needs an edge as well. So take him here, who can get to the quarterback and also provide some good run stopping ability. It's not a bad idea. The 49ers, there's areas you can go here as well. I think edge makes so much sense here. I think Gabe Yakas can be good. You can also get Cassius Howell as a DPR. I just think I like Gabe Yakas a little bit more. I think that makes a little more sense for me. I like it a lot. I think Gabe Yakas can make a good dent in this team, and I think would be a good contrast, especially with now Bryce Huff and all those guys going. And you don't know how well the offensive or the defensive group will play, especially the front with Salah gone. So we're gonna take Gabe Yakas, get some more talent there. With the Texans, I'm gonna go Cassius Howell. I usually stray away from this pick. I don't know how people like it, but Cassius Howell will bring instant DPR, be another like monster at the front. He either wins instantly or loses instantly. There's no in between, so that's going to be a real issue to see how well he does that in the NFL. But regardless, I think this would be an awesome fit for the team. The Bears, I think the Bears could use someone like a center, Sam Hecht, Jake Slaughter, or Connolly. I think Connolly makes the most sense for me personally because Connolly was awesome at Auburn. I like his tape. I'm going to have to go back and watch and reevaluate some of these guys, but I think Connor Lewis is a solid pick for whatever team he got. So I like it. This team needs a center too. I know they just traded for one, but I think a younger center is not a bad idea. The Rams, after taking Mekhi Lemon, maybe a tackle is not a bad idea. Maybe develop someone. Maybe you can develop Caleb Tiernan to be a tackle. He has the tackle and guard flexibility. I think tackle might not be a bad idea, especially with how bad these guys are up front on the tackle, especially with some of them retiring. So one tackle retired, so that's going to be a real issue. So they're going to need a tackle for the future. Taking Caleb Tiernan is not a bad idea, so I like this pick a lot for them. The Broncos, many areas here. Wide receivers out. Maybe taking Eli Stowers, but it might be a little too rich. I think you would probably like a defensive interior here. I don't hate Dante Sterloni here. I don't hate that pick at all. Dale Jackson, nose tackle. It's not bad selection. Go Dale Jackson Jr. Not a bad area. This team needs a defensive interior after they got John Franklin Myers stolen away from them. Be a pretty good pick for this team. I don't think that John Franklin Myers was like that. That contract was worth it for the Broncos to match it. It's just not worth it. So taking Dale Jackson Jr. here is not a bad idea as well. I think I like Dale Jackson Jr. here the most out of all these players left. With the Patriots, there's a lot of areas you can go here as well. I think defensive lineman is 100% in play. I think that makes a lot of sense. Traded Stukes isn't bad. I don't hate that pick. Derek Moore is not bad either. I think I like Derek Moore a lot. I don't know why people don't have Derek Moore as a higher pick. I think he's an awesome player. He provides instant 3-down lineman production, which this draft class really lacks, which is a real issue. I think Derek Moore can provide a more sound and better area for this team. I really like it. I think this makes the most sense for them. And it just, again, I don't know why Derek Moore, he just had a great Senior Bowl, and people aren't really talking about him. I don't know why that's happening. He had an awesome season, too. I don't know why people aren't really talking about him. I think he'll be an awesome fit and a steal for whatever team gets him really late. The Seahawks, there's a lot of areas you can go here as well. I think defensive back is 100% in play. Keontae Scott is a nickel. I don't like it. I'm going to go Davison Ignosin. Gets that Tyreek Woolen esque area back. He is a little bit more of a 5-6 corner. He can be a little grabby, and he does get a lot of penalties at times, which is a little bit of an issue. But he does lockdown coverage and is a real physical boundary corner. So I think this team can use that, especially with losing some of those guys. So I don't hate this pick at all. I think safety is 100% on board for them too, but I don't like how the safety board fell there. Maybe you take Zaki Wheatley here, but I think I like Ignosin a little bit better. So we're going to go with Davison Ignosin. Again, don't hate it. Like it. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all for tuning in to Mock Draft Wednesday as usual. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.